Coming up today, Korea celebrates Christmas with festivities and masses around the country. No white Christmas this year, but skies will be bright and clear following a few days of smog. It appears as though Japan is ready to resolve the issue of its wartime sexual enslavement of Korean women. Reports are emerging that Tokyo will set up a fund for the victims and write them a letter of apology. First, North Korea's nuclear weapons program keeps making advances. It's believed the regime has reached the level where it can produce nuclear bombs with less plutonium than ever before. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello to our viewers around the world. It's midday on Friday, December 25th here in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom. Thank you ever so much for joining us on this Christmas Day afternoon. Now, many countries all over the world are celebrating Christmas today, or will be in a matter of hours' time. At the Vatican, Pope Francis presided over the annual Christmas Eve Mass. Here in Korea, people throughout the nation have gathered at churches and cathedrals. Our Kim Min-ji has more.
Christmas service and Mass were held at churches and cathedrals across the nation to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. A midnight Mass was held at the Myeongdong Cathedral in Seoul, led by Archbishop Andrew Yum-Soo-jung.
I honestly pray that the birth of Christ may bring peace to the world.
In the Vatican City, Pope Francis presided over a Christmas Eve Mass, urging that everyone should allow the simplicity of baby Jesus born into poverty in a manger, despite his divinity, inspire their lives. The pontiff said Christmas was a time for people to discover themselves, adding they should maintain the essential value of life and not be intoxicated by possessions and superficial appearances.
In a society so often intoxicated by consumerism and hedonism, wealth and extravagance, appearances and narcissism, this child calls us to act soberly. In other words, in a way that is simple, balanced, consistent, and capable of seeing and doing what is essential.
On Christmas Day, the Pope will deliver the traditional Urbi et Orbi, or to the city and to the world message, from the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Now, some of our viewers around the world will be spending the day celebrating Christmas with their families at home. But what about people here in Korea? Our Kwon Jung-oh hit the streets to find out.
Christmas is the holiday where you spend time with family and loved ones, giving each other gifts, singing carols. That's in the West, at least. But how do people in Korea spend Christmas? I came out here to ask around.
I'm going on a trip with the family to Jeju-do Island.
I got married this year, so I'll be spending Christmas with my husband and my family.
On Christmas Eve, I have plans to go drinking with my friends in Sinchon. On Christmas Day, I'll be studying.
Until the 24th, I'm going to party really hard. I'm going to be out all night. And on Christmas Day, I'm going to sleep.
That doesn't sound too dissimilar from what's common in the West. But dig a little deeper, and there are some notable differences. For example, there is less emphasis on family time, especially among young people. In a survey, it was found that only 33% of people in their 20s and 30s spent Christmas with their family. So who do they spend it with?
Students usually spend Christmas with friends.
People with a boyfriend or girlfriend usually spend Christmas together.
In another survey, when asked what was the most important occasion for a couple, Christmas was voted number 2 after the first date anniversary.
It's almost seen as strange if you're not spending time with your partner. In Korea, there does seem to be a feeling that this is a holiday for couples.
The practice of gift giving is also one that isn't strictly followed, and it's usually reserved for children.
I haven't had Christmas presents since I was 10 years old.
My family doesn't exchange gifts.
I'm planning to give my son a nice gift. But the children don't give gifts to their parents. It's the parents who give gifts to their children.
It might not be quite the same as how Christmas is celebrated in the West, but as one of the few nations in Asia that has adopted Christmas as a public holiday, Korean people are still enjoying it in their own way. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.
Now, Christmas is, of course, the season of giving back, and a local community centre has been playing Santa for some of the neighbourhood's low-income senior residents this holiday season, and they've been getting a helping hand from some student elves. Our Isuan has a story.
A nice hairdo and a little bit of makeup. These are things that some of the seniors in this neighborhood in northwestern Seoul aren't used to.
Usually during the holidays, I don't go anywhere. My children don't really come home either. But today I'm really happy. I want to go out somewhere since they did this makeup and hair for me.
The makeover was a holiday gift from the Hongeun-il-dong Community Service Center in Seodaemungu District. The center invited 300 elderly, low-income residents to Eunje Christian Church in Seoul for an afternoon that included the makeover, a photo shoot, and a warm lunch. They got a helping hand from a group of high school volunteers.
I feel proud to have shared what I do best, makeup, with the elderly and help them make great memories because they don't usually have many opportunities to talk with young students.
The seniors couldn't help but smile looking at the pictures of themselves. Then they were treated to a bowl of warm chicken stew to fill their stomachs thanks to a group of university student volunteers who formed the culinary team in the kitchen.
It's a short day, but I hope the seniors here will feel the community's warmth more than by just having a meal. To be honest, the center doesn't have enough time, people or money to host all of these events, and so I'm thankful that the volunteers have filled that gap.
Christmas time for the senior citizens living in the city could have been cold and lonely, but that won't be the case this year thanks to the Hongeun-il-dong Community Service Center and the student volunteers. Yusuin, Arirang News.
Now, in other news, Japan is reported to be eagerly working to settle negotiations over wartime sexual slavery with South Korea. The Tokyo-based Nihon Geizai Shimbun reported Friday that the Japanese government is seeking ways to establish a new fund worth more than 100 million yen, or $830,000 to support the victims of sex slavery during World War II. The newspaper said that, in addition, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is deliberating on whether to write the victims a letter containing words such as responsibility and apology to help restore their honor. Such plans are expected to be suggested to Korea during Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida's as yet unconfirmed visit to Seoul next Monday. Now, other Japanese media have reported that if an agreement is reached during Kishida's visit, Tokyo will push for a summit between the two countries early next year to officially resolve the matter once and for all. Now, news from North Korea that could be cause for concern. The reclusive state looks to have advanced its ability to produce nuclear weapons even further. Government sources here in Seoul say it might take less plutonium for Pyongyang to make a nuclear weapon than normally required. Connie Kim has the details.
Has North Korea improved its ability to produce nuclear weapons? That seems to be the case, as multiple government sources said Friday the nuclear state has reached a level where it could produce one nuclear weapon with less than 6 kilograms of plutonium. This is unusual, as it normally requires some 6 kilograms of plutonium to produce one nuclear weapon. A source speaking on condition of anonymity said the assessment comes as Pyongyang is suspected to have manufactured multiple nuclear weapons. Seoul's defense ministry estimates North Korea possesses a total of some 40 kilograms of plutonium. This means North Korea has developed the capability to produce more than 8 nuclear weapons. Even more concerning is that the reclusive state is expected to possess more plutonium after it restarted its Yongbyon reactor in August. Military and government officials also speculate Pyongyang has produced its own centrifuge using technology acquired overseas. Despite international calls for North Korea to denuclearize, the regime continues to forge ahead with its nuclear development. This year, North Korea has test-fired its submarine-launched ballistic missiles twice. Officials also believe that North Korea's capacity to miniaturize nuclear warheads has reached a considerable level. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
A special team of investigators from South Korea returned home from the Philippines this morning after making a number of potentially key findings in the murder case of a Korean national. The 57-year-old businessman with the family name Joe was shot dead multiple times by 4 unidentified gunmen at his temporary residence in Batangas on December 20th. Obtaining CCTV footage, the Korean officials were able to identify the suspect's vehicle, as you can see there, and have passed that evidence on to local authorities. They also discovered a live cartridge and 2 empty ones at the murder scene. Moreover, after intensive questioning of Joe's relatives and witnesses, the task force believes it might have been a contract killing issued by Joe's business associate or his Filipino wife, who he was in the process of divorcing. Now, with the year coming to an end, we're going to look at some of the new technologies that broke into the market and made headlines this year. Most of them, of course, are gadgets that added just a little bit more convenience to our lives. Shin Se-min has the highlights.
Formerly known as a low-end iPhone copycat, China's Xiaomi is now better known for its range of tablets, wearables, and smart home products, as well as a new self-balancing electric scooter launched with Segway. It's topping holiday wish list at just $315. Be it curvy, lean, or widescreen, a number of smartphones leapt onto the market this year, including a couple from a pair of old rivals. Samsung Electronics had its Galaxy S6 Edge with a curved screen that wraps around the sides of the handset. Apple rolled out an upgrade to the iPhone 6, the 6S and 6S Plus, featuring the sharpest display and the biggest 5.5-inch screen yet. Korea's mobile messaging service, KakaoTalk, grew into a behemoth this year after its merger with Daum Communications, Korea's second-largest portal. The merger set the new company called Daum Kakao, but soon it lopped Daum off its corporate name. Kakao went on to become an all-in-one social networking service, launching multiple services for shopping, media, and payments, in addition to a popular Uber-like taxi service. Fintech got a bit savvier and a bit more popular this year. Mobile payment apps by Apple and Samsung let users pay for items on the go with just a tap, then the payment is done. And with Korea handing out licenses for the country's first internet-only banks in October, financial services will be offered online without brick-and-mortar locations for the first time. Drones came a little further into our daily lives. Some were for work, with online retail giant Amazon unveiling a new hybrid delivery drone that acts like a helicopter. While others were for play, like these new virtual reality headsets, some of which allow users to control and capture the VR imagery. Shin Se-min, Arirang News.
Now, due to the relatively mild temperatures we've been having in recent weeks, Korea's winter tourism industry is experiencing a bit of a chill. But the government and other organizations are working to fire things back up again. Our Park Se-young has the details.
Like many people from colder climates, a good number of Koreans also want to go somewhere warm over the winter break. But their Southeast Asian neighbors probably have a different idea of winter fun.
That it's hot all year round in Singapore, but then in here you get to experience different weathers, you get to experience different climates, and I really like it here. So I've tried before snowboarding and skiing, and it's really fun.
For many people from warmer neighboring countries, winter in Korea has been an attraction. But with temperatures rising around the globe, including Korea, the country's winter tourism industry is experiencing a freeze that could be difficult to crack. The warming trend has put a damper on the enthusiasm for winter festivals, and the number of visitors to ski resorts slid by over 20% last season compared to 5 seasons ago. The number of foreign tourists visiting in winter has declined as well. To try and reverse the trend, the Korean government and private organizations are stepping up efforts to revive the nation's winter tourism industry. They're offering discounts for ski vacations with the hope they can keep the snow on the ground, entertainment packages, and a variety of other activities.
Many visitors to Korea tend to like K-pop, so we've prepared various events for them this year.
Experts say the winter tourism campaign is likely to continue in the coming years as it will be difficult for the tourism industry to regain its momentum if temperatures continue to rise. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia plans to build at least 6 nuclear units in India in the next 20 years. Now, energy and defense topped the agenda at Thursday's meeting in Moscow between Putin and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The leaders signed 16 pacts, including one on the joint manufacture of more than 220 military helicopters. Russia is keen to strengthen ties with India, one of the fastest growing economies in the world right now. Heaping praise on the South Asian country, Putin said India was one of the most honourable candidates for permanent membership of the UN Security Council. Well, those are the stories we were following on this Friday afternoon here in Seoul. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out the website arirang.com/news. We also have a smartphone application with all the latest news on it. You can find it by just searching for Arirang TV in the usual places. Happy holidays from everyone here at Arirang TV, and to our viewers in Korea, do try to get outside today. Beautiful blue skies here in Seoul at least, and fresh air to match with it. And if you're with your family and friends, even better. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.